but I'm going to need your cooperation. So if you can put everything down for just a second. All I need is 2 fingers. You can hold up 2 fingers just like this. Okay, this is interactive. You're back in about 1980. Some of you weren't born, but you're back in 1980. You're a little kid in like 3rd or 4th grade. Your teacher says, "Hi kids, today we're going to learn how to use a typewriter." You're like, "Oh, that's great. I've always wanted to know how to type." But we're only going to do it with 2 fingers. So the teacher says, "All right, first press down the capital key. Now press the D. Now E-A-R, that's deer, space, capital M-O-M. We just typed dear mom, right? Yep. Now, some of you are not going to know what this sound means, but most of you will get it. You have to go with what? Now, kids nowadays don't even know that sound anymore, right? Because it's a return key. Those of us in the more elite age range, we understand what that sound is, okay? Those of you who've never heard it, look it up. All right, but that's a very important sound. We used to hear that all the time. All the way across. Now we're going to get faster, all right? Hope you and Daddy are well. This is Bobby at summer camp. I'm having a great time. Love, Bobby. Okay, so you can you're there. Okay, so your teacher goes through this. You just learned how to type. Okay? Goes over to the corner, grabs this huge typewriter. Remember the old geezers? Weigh 50 pounds. Kaboom! Puts it on the table in front. Says, "This, boys and girls, this is a typewriter. The cost, $3,980. And you kind of scratch your head and you say, well, I guess if I really want to type a letter, okay, I get it. I got to pay $3,980 to type a letter. Okay, I'm in. But wait, somebody else comes over here and says, Don, no way. This is a brand new Macintosh computer, okay? This will not only type a letter for you, it'll print it out. You can surf the net, you can do your taxes. It's a tax write-off. You can find a date, you can buy a car, you can do all these thousands of things. Price, $3,980. Now you say, well, kiddies, which would you buy? The typewriter that does one thing, $3,980, or this computer that does millions of things. You can't even count them, $3,980. Obviously, which would you buy? The Macintosh. Tomorrow, we're going to teach you how to market a magic like this, not sell typewriters. You see? That's what we're doing right now. We're selling ionizers as a typewriter. And people are coming back to it. What's the first thing they say? And after you tell them the price, what do they say? Oh, that's too much. Tomorrow, we're going to teach you how to build $40,000 of value into Enagic, not the machine. Right? Did you know, obviously, when you buy that device, you own a franchise. You knew that, right? Oh, but not only a franchise, a global franchise. Right? So the day that you find somebody in Germany, do you have to fly to Germany, open up a bank account, establish a company, hire employees, establish tax records, and then recruit them to your team? No. What do? Send them to the web, send them the forms, they join your team, you're good to go with that one distributor number, correct? Yep. No other company in the world is like that. No other, only Enagic. So you don't own a franchise, you own a global franchise for the tiny price of $3,980. That should impress you. You should say, well, wait a minute. I just got a franchise for a little under $4,000. What's the catch? Well, the catch is we expect you to spread Mr. O's message globally. That's all we ask. We've never, ever asked you to sell a single machine. Have you ever noticed that? Mr. O, have you ever heard him on stage? Yeah. Mr. O, okay. Has he ever stood on stage and said, please sell my machines? No. Never once. That's a clue. He's not a machine salesman. He's a social movement guru. And that's how deep the message is of Enagic. So if that type of thing interests you, Enagic's for you. If you're just looking to sell units and get commission and do this over and over again, we love you, God bless you, but it's going to be a long, hard road. And if you come from network marketing, you know that that's where people burn out, right? When the mission isn't big enough, when the purpose isn't big enough, when it gets too tough to kind of verify all this hard work they put into it, what do? And they hop to another company. And they hop to another company. Mr. O calls those people network gypsies. Right? They're just going in little bands all around. And how can you trust that person to be in charge of your future? Well, you can't. That's why you've got to buy into that bigger mission. So what ESPRI does, and again, you were right, thanks for pointing that out, and Magic, Success, Personal Relationship Ignition, what ESPRI does is it takes the mission of a Magic and flips it upside down. Most people come into a Magic and they focus on the E, the first one, and Magic. I'll just go to, I'll go to a molecular hydrogen, atomic, this, that, and the other thing seminar. And I will memorize everything. And they will be so impressed with my scientific knowledge that they will buy 100 machines. They'll just love me, right? And if I just get enough knowledge, I can rule the world. Oh, and if I do that, then I'll meet some people. I'll find some success. Oh, I might just get fired up. The opposite thing in an adjunct. If you focus on the company, on the product, you're doomed. Because not everybody follows that same pattern, right? The first and foremost thing that we have to do is ignite you. Without firing you up, without getting your passion going, I don't care what it is. It's not going to happen. So tomorrow is about how to motivate you as you. We're going to go through a lot of strategies on differences in people. Because what's the first thing you want to do? When you meet a new person, what's the first thing you want to do? Oh my God, I hope I can talk to this guy so I can get a machine in his house, right? Isn't that what you're thinking? I hope I can get him to buy a machine. That would be great. I know he'll buy 2, maybe 3. But that's your mind going through your agenda, right? Tomorrow we're going to interview people and we say, listen, Ricky, what do you need to make your life wonderful? It may not be an honest answer. It may not. It may be, out of all of those helps, Ricky needs to get really financially secure. Don't worry, in the end, we're going to have a Kangen water device in his house. But what's in the game for Ricky is very much different than what's in the game for Don. Would you agree with me on that one? Okay. Tomorrow, you really have to change your thinking. It's going to take some uncomfortable moments at the beginning. But here's what happens. You have had, until now, a medical testimonial, right? Everybody has a testimonial they use. By the way, it's absolutely illegal. I don't know if anybody told you that. You can actually spend some time in jail for that. So instead of that, if you can't use a medical testimonial, well, Don, if we can't use that, you're robbing me of everything. What can I use? We're going to put that medical testimonial on steroids and build what's called a life testimonial. That right now, your medical testimonial only applies to who? Well, you and a couple other people that might have had your exact same condition, right? What if we could take your life testimonial and have it apply to every human being? Because you all came from adversity and you found some measure of success, yes? That's the story of an adjunct. Look at Mr. O. Barefoot, walking to school in the middle of World War II, right? Creates this company that not only moves to Tokyo, Japan, moves over to California, New York, Europe, Asia. This is from a barefoot kid that walked to school. He can create that from adversity. What can you do? You can do that and more. You're born in the most powerful country in the world. You speak the language that he wants to master, English. Everyone can understand you. So tomorrow we're going to build your story. It's going to consist of 2 parts. One is the before an adjunct, here's who I was. This is the Don before an adjunct. The other one's going to be, this is the Don after an adjunct. So you have a BE and an AE story. By 4 o'clock tomorrow, I promise you, you will have that story. And once you're going to bat with that story, well, then you're going to be a professional recruiter. So I want to transform you tomorrow from a machine salesperson to a success recruiter. Now, if that sounds interesting, come on over tomorrow, because that's what we're going to find out. What is your before story? And how can people relate to adversity? Everyone's had adversity in their life, yes? Yeah. Right. They don't have to have your specific adversity, right? but they understand what hardship is. Then there's an after story. They want to look and say, well, gosh, if you did it, and you came from that kind of life, and now you're living this kind of life, maybe something that I went through could be transformed, could be adapted. Maybe I'll have some chance of that same success that you have. Because here's the bottom line. I'm not going to shock you. Most people don't want to be healthy. It's a farce. Most people don't want to be healthy. Think of it. Well, I used to have hemorrhoids, and now I don't want to have hemorrhoids anymore. Well, the reason you don't want to have a malady is because you want freedom to, not freedom from. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Think of it. When you're sick, you're shackled to something, right? Well, because I have X, Y, Z, I can't throw the ball with my kid, I can't go hiking, I can't climb stairs, I'm somehow burdened, right? So when you get healthy, it's not the health that you really want, it's the freedom to do something, right? Whatever that freedom is, I don't know, for you, you have to figure that out. But even if it's financial freedom, you want the freedom to do something, not the freedom from something. So tomorrow we're